Alright, this is a medium-length game in Avalanche. And, not that many people in this, about 8 people in this, about half of them appear to be new players and so on. I think we were slightly outmatched in this, and in the next match, we barely won this one. Well, I won't say we barely won it. We beat them pretty badly, but they were beating us back at some point, and came very near to flubbing that suicide. But I think ultimately we only won this match because we got the advantage of the Necros weapons, probably. And when we got the other side, the next match, we lost pretty quickly.
Attack the enemy prime.
But yeah, I played pretty well. I mean, well, I guess, you know, it looks pretty. I mean, maybe not as well as it looks because you know, considering that I'm not playing against hordes of the best players out there. I'd like to mainly post stuff. I'd like to mainly post matches dominated by large numbers of the best players out there. But those matches, if they're evenly matched, tend to be very long. And that is what I tend to concentrate on. And of course, I don't look as good when I'm playing against the really good players also. But no, I do pretty well with them too sometimes. But it just depends on how much practice I've got and what my reflexes are acting like these days. Oh well. So anyway, what have I read in the news here lately? Apparently Ridley Scott is going to make a sequel or a prequel or something to Blade Runner, which is kind of a weird idea. I was thinking that, you know, if he made a prequel out of it, and if he said it, and if he had it to do with Decker when Decker was still married, it's possible that this second movie could actually be closer to the book than the first one was. And of course, the first one was pretty far removed from the book, so it wouldn't really be hard to do. But I'd be really surprised if he was aiming for that. But that would be nice, wouldn't it? I'd love that. To see New Android Dream of Electric Sheep the way it was really written, you know, a story somewhat similar to the book for once. You know, Hollywood never does that. Oh well.
Blue core is under
and then I read that
deployed.
I looked at the Unreal Tournament forums the other day, which I don't look at them enough. But the other day I was looking, and apparently Epic put out another statement to the effect that they're working on 4 or 5 different titles, and apparently they're small titles because I think what they said was, you know, we haven't increased the development team, but we're working on 4 different games, so that ought to tell you what the scope of each game is. That's fair enough. I can't wait to see what they're up to. I doubt if any of it's Unreal related, but I'm hoping they'll do something Unreal related at some point.
Under attack. Tentacle deployed. Blue core is secure.
So yeah, that's about as much good news. Everything else sucked. Everything else was terrible. I mean, the world's going to hell. We're all going to die. And there'll be no one left to hear me when I say I told you so. That's the really sad part. That's the part that bothers me. The rest of it's okay. I mean, you dying, me dying, that's all right.
Man the Nightshade.
Well, anyway. This one, we got off to a real strong start. Then they started making I'm just checking the board there. You see, we're evenly matched at this point. I think what's happened up to this point is that we were behind a player, or maybe ahead a player. Well, at the end, I know that Blue did gain a player about maybe 8 minutes in, but that put them a player ahead, and then we picked up a player a few minutes later, and that evened it up again. I think about 5 minutes towards the end, we picked up another player, which put us a player ahead. I'm not there, and I just completely flubbed that one. I flubbed 2 suicides in a row. I do that a lot in those Vipers. Just easy for me to do, I guess. It's not hard to suicide in a Viper, but it's also apparently not hard for me to screw it up. And not really doing great in this tank. But a lot of people take this tank and they hang back at that node and use it to protect that node. And maybe that wouldn't have been a bad idea, but I was thinking about heading back there, but then I saw that node go zipping by me, and I had to go chasing him because we can't let him take our prime. Yeah, you see at this point they're pushing us back pretty good. See, this was no cakewalk for us. We could have lost this easily. But, you know, Blue lost their momentum along this point. Well, they didn't rush in for the kill or anything like that. I mean, I'm not saying we just ran them over from this point over. We pretty much had control towards the end, but at this point it's still kind of up in the air, and I'm still not doing real good. You can see that I've still got my graphics settings to where I can't see shit through these alleyways until I get right up in there. You know, you see what my visibility is like here. It's terrible. And, you know, sometimes I feel like I need to change that, but then on the other hand, I have this suspicion that that's the way it's supposed to look. You know, that's the way this game is supposed to be played. I mean, not just because it reduces the load on your graphics card, but because it looks good. You know, because if you were in an Arctic wasteland and these ice caves and shit, that's probably what it would be like. You know, there'd be all this fucking fog. You'd be about half snow blind. You ever been out in the snow for any length of time? You about go fucking blind. You can't see shit because there's all this glare. But I don't know. I should probably dig around and try to find some alternate setting that sort of looks good but lets me see, you know, a little further out there, so I can go sniping on this map and stuff like some of these other people do. I've seen people, you know, stand on those towers and snipe all the way, you know, about halfway across the damn map. And you can do that if you change your setting to eliminate all that fog. But that's cheating. I keep saying that. I'm never going to do it. I'm just going to keep playing it like this. You don't really need the snipe. I mean, you can tell when you're up against a team that does a lot of sniping. It's really effective if you get a few people doing it. But it doesn't mean they're going to win. I mean, you can beat a team with snipers on them. It's possible. I don't know. I'm torn. It just looks too pretty. I can't change it. But I think ultimately, you know, it's still about, you know, medium to close range stuff. It's about knowing which weapon to pull, you know, and what to do in different situations when faced against, you know, different vehicles or different weapons and stuff. It's neat when you get into these chains of events, you know, where you start off, you're maybe in a vehicle and you're going in and you don't really know what's going to come up, and then you hit it, and then you have to jump out of the vehicle really quickly because somebody's pulled a weapon that can kill it in one shot. And then when you jump out, you immediately have to decide to pull the correct weapon to take down whatever it is that's in front of you. And it's great when you get it right, you know, because you can just get these chains of events going where you make one kill, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. That's what the game's about. That orb carrier there, his name's Jacob. He's a new player. I haven't seen him before. He seems like a nice guy, but I kind of felt like I was a little bit peeved with him because I felt like he should have ran the other way, because he ran that way, and that meant I had to tow him over the cliff, and I wasn't sure he was gonna take the tow either, but he did. But that meant I had to tow him over that cliff, so I had to figure out how to get him over the cliff without killing him. And, you know, you can't just barrel over the cliff with him stringing along behind you because he'll die, you know. So I was gentle enough. I managed to keep him alive for that, and he capped, so that was a good deal. And then I got to do the maneuver. You know, it's a very simple but effective maneuver where you suicide the Viper into the core, and then fly backwards while shooting with the link, and you can, you know, the suicide propels you up, and then you hit the back button so that you're flying backwards, and you can basically fly like all the way back to the other side of the map while firing the link at the core the whole time. It's a load of fun. You can do 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 points of damage off the core all at once that way, too. We pretty much got it tied up at this point. I'm hanging here at hanging here at midpoint just to make sure it doesn't go down before orb gets down there. And you can see the this guy in the bender, he's not really very good because there's, if he had any idea what he was doing, there's no way I would have lived through that little episode. And then he finally abandoned it. I'm just more or less going to ignore him. I'm just keeping an eye on him just to keep him from taking a shot at me before I get on my hoverboard and head towards the prime here. There's another bender, but he's not going to last either. He's got a walker in his face. And there is somebody, there's somebody up there with a shock rifle. He managed to knock me off, but that walker kept him kind of occupied, so I'm just going to cap again here. And that's almost going to be it. I'm going to run up here and grab the Scorpion, and a lot of times I'd sit here and defend, but we're doing so well at this point that I kind of feel like I might as well just go ahead. Well, it's obvious to me that we're dominating, so even though I feel like the Scorpion is better off as a defensive vehicle, I'm going to go forward and attack with it, and I'm not quite going to make it a suicide. It's a little slow, and they took their prime back, so on the way back, I'm going to try to take out their vehicle there. And now I got to ditch this thing because it's one more hit away from oblivion. I'm getting into a little fight here. And oh no, he's got the high ground. Dance for your life. Okay, what to do? Oh, I know, I'll pull out the shock rifle. Oh yeah, there you go. Westbourne, another new player. Yeah, see, this is not the A team here. Well, there's a few good names here. Mostly not coming up against me, but they're there. And this is where we're going to finish up here. Not going to quite be able to suicide into the core because there's going to be a bender right there, but we'll take him out. Absolute Zero there. He's a name I know. And this is going to finish it up right here. Yeah. Nice match. I'll try to post a longer one next time. Have a good evening.